What a phenomenal game and an unbelievable ending here. Simone Nemec, the hat trick for the 21-year-old. Big-time prospect, second overall pick. It's been a choppy beginning to his career, a little up and down. The minors back to the NHL. He looks like he's here to stay. Devils win in OT. Oh, it's the NHL on TNT post-game show presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Liam, Biz, Ace, Wayne, and Simone. Because we're going right back to the rink right now. Simone Nemec, congratulations. Brilliant game. Anson, you're up first.
Simone, it's Ace. Hell of a game. Congratulations on the hat trick. I know every young player in the National Hockey League is waiting for their opportunity. And last year, a little bit up and down for you. But now Dougie Hamilton and Brett Pesce aren't in the lineup. Are you sitting there just rubbing your hands and licking your lips saying, I'm going to try to take advantage of the situation?
Yeah, first, thank you. And yeah, I mean, Dougie's hurt, so someone has to score a goal. So yeah, I know.
Simone, it's Biz here. Congratulations. I didn't realize you were only the third defenseman in Devils history to score a hat trick. I was pretty shocked at that stat, but I was going to ask you, were you aware that Markstrom had that saucer pass in his game, and how many steak dinners are you going to owe him after throwing you that beautiful ragu?
I don't know. I think couple, yeah, but that was unreal play from him, and yeah, I saw they were changing three guys, so I stay on the blue line, and yeah, like I say, unreal pass from the marquee, and yeah, that finish was pretty good too.
It was more than pretty good, my friend.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love when the Euros get cocky.
Well, Simone, I can tell you that the only thing better right now than your smile during this interview, and as we're watching you score this goal and the smile on your face then, is Wayne Gretzky sitting a couple seats away from me, and the smile he had on his face when he saw you complete that hat trick. When Wayne Gretzky's smiling and he's impressed, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, unbelievable. I saw he was in Slovakia like couple weeks ago. So yeah, it's unreal.
Well, congratulations. Good for you. Keep going. Fun to watch.
Yeah, thank you.
Simone,
thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming on. Congrats.
Awesome game, Simone.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, have a good night. Thank you.
What a kid.
Oh, listen, pretty cool. And the story with Simone Nemec really has been selected second overall, big-time prospect, high hopes for him. But then, yeah, a little up and down. And would he be traded? Would he be a future player for this Devils franchise? Would he be a future star? Or would he be somewhere else? I don't know. After tonight, Devils fans got to fall in love all over again with Simone Nemec.
And I'm sure it was hard on him. You see Luke Hughes getting drafted high. He steps in right away. So as a young player, I'm sure he's thinking, when am I going to get my opportunity? And we saw last year during the postseason versus the Carolina Hurricanes, he scored a big goal and made a great play. It looks like his confidence level is really taken off from there. But this goal here in the overtime, third goal of the night, top corner in the back of the Nemec. I mean, his outstanding play, and I just love the reaction. I think the sky's the limit for him right now, Biz.
Oh, and what an incredible read, right? Being a defenseman and being okay with staying that far up the ice at the blue line, and a great heads-up play. But, I mean, sometimes we forget how young these kids are. And you saw with a bit of the language barrier, he's coming over to a new country, trying to learn the language, trying to understand what coaches are demanding from him, and how to adapt to playing in the NHL at such a young age. So, you know, it's no surprise that he's been up and down. And sometimes these kids, they don't like it. They want to step right in. But it seems like now, after spending 3 years in North America, he's starting to find his groove, and I couldn't be happier for him. And what an answer to that question, where he's like, nice pass, but shot was pretty decent. So the confidence is definitely there, and we saw that with that answer.
We saw a whole bunch of confidence from young guys there tonight. Bedard was excellent. Jack Hughes is now a veteran, even though he's 24 years old, was dancing around, making plays. But I want to go back to just the idea of, with Spencer Knight as a goalie, with Nemec as a D-man, do we sometimes need to take that step back? Anson was alluding to. Seems like forwards, wings, maybe they come in, they can develop a little bit quicker. D-men, goalies, do you think we just need to be a lot more patient sometimes with these big prospects, Gretz?
Well, there's no question. Anson, Biz, and I played, and there's, without a doubt, the goaltending position is the hardest to break into. Secondly, I would say playing defense is hard to break into, although the young boy in the island's making it look pretty easy. But there's the odd special person every now and then. But Biz said it best. Not only is he trying to get comfortable playing in the National Hockey League, which is a whole different level, but you got to come over and learn the language and understand the culture and live in a different country. And sometimes we forget that. These young kids, it's hard on them. They move away from their parents. These kids are 18 and 19 years old, and they lived in Slovakia with their mom and dad, and all of a sudden they're living in New York or New Jersey or Toronto or Los Angeles. It's difficult, and Biz couldn't have said it any better. Sometimes we forget that. When we first brought Yuri Curry over in 1980, Sather made sure he had an older player named Matty Hagman, who was 28 years old, who had been over playing in North America for 8-9 years. And Yuri lived with him. And it made it much easier for Yuri to understand the culture and learn the lifestyle and learn what it is to be a professional hockey player, because it's completely different than anything else. And as beautiful as Slovakia is, it's not North America. It's as simple as that. But good on him. He's worked hard. And listen, that's how you make a name for yourself. You might not always have a place to play there. Nobody knows what's going to happen in time. But if you show other teams you can play in this league, you stay here for a long time.
Yeah, I've got an appreciation for that, Gretz. When I played my last year in Lugano, Switzerland, and I went over as a 33-year-old, and in Switzerland, there's like Swiss German, French, Italian, or English. We're the Italian part of Switzerland. We had a tutor come to our house 3 days a week because we wanted to learn the language. Right. But it wasn't easy. Going to the grocery store, going to the pharmacia, trying to figure out this daily things that we take for granted, and then trying to communicate with your team and your coaching staff.
Yeah, it's hard.
I just don't understand where more teams have. If you've got a young player coming over from Europe, maybe have an older veteran guy that's been around, just kind of take him under his wing. So he's not learning how to speak the language from watching Seinfeld or some other TV show. You've got a guy that's done it already and can pass along some knowledge.
Well, Yuri said he learned from watching I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver.
TV shows.
What a show.
No, but that's
black and white.
They feel like that's the fastest way to learn is to watch TV, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. But I couldn't imagine watching French or Slovakian TV. I'd be pulling my hair out after about 10 minutes.
I did the same thing, watching North American shows with Italian subtitles.
What TV show did you watch to learn English?
I was watching like cartoons and stuff. You know, the Recess one.
But going back to this conversation, I think we can all agree over probably the last 10 years, the league has just gotten younger, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they're tending to weed out more veterans to try to bring up these young guys.
Because the young guys can play now.
Because young guys can play.
Cheaper.
Yeah. They're cheaper. They've gotten so much more faster and skill, but maybe lack a little bit of knowledge of the game positionally. So it's hard. And a lot of these teams, they tend to sell off and rebuild and want things to kind of just work right away, where you need a healthy mix of young guys and veterans. And it kind of alludes to what you guys are talking about, having these savvy veterans around to help take them under their wing. So, I mean, you even mentioned it, and nothing against Lev Shunov. Like you mentioned earlier tonight, like maybe you thought he could have spent another year in school, right? And it's nothing against his game or what the potential that this player has, but it's more about like, what more can you learn at that level and maybe making mistakes at not the NHL level, where you're more worried about the actual development of these players. And sometimes when you advance them a little too early, it can shatter their confidence, because they're getting put out on an island. And you're playing against the best players in the world. So I know when I was coming up and I first signed a pro contract, I spent 4 or 5 years in the minors before I eventually got my crack. And I know these kids are a lot more talented than I was, but there's still definitely a learning process to when you get to the pro level, regardless of whether it's NHL or AHL.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, I got lucky. We had the Outlaw League when I played WHA, so I got a year in that league, which was not as good as the National Hockey League, but it was better than junior hockey. It was kind of like when Matthews went over to Switzerland and played professionally for a year, and it helped me tremendously, not only about the game, but learning how to be a pro. It's a whole different lifestyle, the travel, eating game day meal at 12:30. My goodness, we'd go to school at 4 o'clock and go right to a hockey game. And now all of a sudden you're eating at 12:30 and the guys are sleeping and having a nap and getting ready for the game. But you learn how to get into the routine and you learn what it's all about.
Yeah, it's easy to forget these are young people going through a lot of changes at that time, life changes, and sometimes it just takes a little time, a little bit of patience. We're going to step aside, but before we do that, unfortunately, we have some sad news to pass on. Our family here at TNT Sports have some heavy hearts as we mourn the passing of a friend, Denise Daniels. Denise was doing what she loved in life, working in television, something she studied and worked hard to be a part of. We send our thoughts and prayers to her family. She'll be greatly missed. Denise was 35 years old.